Hi, my name is Cathryn Platine, and I'm here to talk to you today about our Indiegogo campaign and why we're raising the money and why it's important. I'm going to give you a little background. I founded the Maetreum of Cybele back in 1999 as a religious organization, and with two other priestesses actually, I bought a property that we own now back in 2001. But one of the women that went in with us was not a priestess, so we ran it as a secular organization. But from the very beginning, our property has been used to house women in need, and that has been one of our overriding interests since the day we first got the property. But later on, we incorporated the religion. The woman who was not one of the priestesses sold her interest to a priestess, and we then deeded our property interest over to the incorporated Maetreum of Cybele. Maetreum of Cybele is a 501(c) IRS recognized religion and church. We sought and got that recognition. Now what that means is that we are fully tax exempt under IRS regulations. We also registered with the state of New York as a religious charity and have been granted exemption on sales tax. But the issue that we've been facing is our property tax. Now under New York law, in order for a property to be exempt, it must be owned by a religious corporation and used for religious and charitable purposes. This property has always been used for that, and in 2006 we were granted an exemption for our property tax. But for some reason that was never told to us, in 2007 they took our exemption away. We've been fighting to get it back ever since. Now, we've taken in dozens and dozens and dozens of women in need, and for the most part we've either paid all of their room and board or most of their room and board because we use a sliding scale. Our religious principles are such that we believe that it is our duty to help others, that it is, that's why we're here, that we believe that all of us are the goddess experiencing herself, and therefore we are responsible to take care of each other. And we live that. The town of Catskill has been fighting us, claiming that we're not a legitimate religion, despite our recognized IRS status, despite the fact that we're incorporated, despite the fact that we have a written theology, and we practice regular services. They've claimed that we don't practice regular services without evidence, and that they claim that because we take women in here who aren't necessarily members of our religious group for charitable reasons, that we're nothing more than just a rooming house. This is obviously absurd. We've been fighting them for years. We finally got our day in court last year, and we're surprised after it took 9 months for the decision to be rendered on that court case. We had felt that we had won the case when we left the trial, but the decision basically came back completely against us, and the decision was so discriminatory that it almost defied the imagination. In the decision, the judge stated things that our daily prayer, our daily meditation, our spiritual practices were not evidence of practice of a religion, which is ludicrous. Obviously, if those aren't the evidence of practicing a religion, I'm not sure what would be. He stated that our charitable works weren't actually charitable. For an example, in the last year alone, 4 different women have been completely supported here, room and board, no cost to them, for a total of 34 months. So obviously we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. But we are poor. We basically fund ourselves. We don't ask normally for donations. This is new for us, but we are appealing this court case, and we feel that we have an excellent grounds for the appeal, and we feel quite confident that we will in fact win the appeal, but we have to raise the money to pay our lawyer, and we don't have much time to do it. So we're appealing to you to make it a donation to us. Your donations are fully tax deductible because we are in fact 501(c) IRS recognized. We're a registered nonprofit religious charity. You can look us up. Most of the databases, we're in the databases, and we need your help. Quite frankly, we want to continue to do our work, but the reason why we've been fighting on the property taxes is because they're unbelievably high. Our property taxes come to somewhere between 7 and 10% of the total that we paid for the property, which is also unreasonable. And regardless of how you feel about whether churches should be tax exempt or not, please consider that all religious churches that are Christian in this country get tax deductions routinely. They're never questioned. Because we're not Christian, we have been discriminated against. Even the Westboro Baptist Church is tax exempt, and we're not. And we're trying very hard to do the work to help women and to promote basically to promote taking care of other people. This is what we believe we're supposed to be doing, to promote taking care of the planet. We're trying to live in a sustainable fashion, and we need your help. So please consider making a donation to us. Thank you very much.